Hey everybody, I'm back to show you just two small things I've been working on. I've been contacted by, well, one was a friend, but he also subscribes to my channel. Another one was just somebody that's been subscribing to my channel for a while and has appreciated my work. And each of them kind of had some ideas for some custom stuff. So I'm going to show you those two tonight. There's going to be two of those knives. I'm also going to show everybody right now. One of the things I've been having a lot of trouble with the Benchmade giveaway stuff and doing them is getting just the right balance and the right width and the right cut to have the glow-in-the-dark epoxy show through the C-Tech, because I really love the C-Tech and I'm using it on both knives. So this is something I've been working on in the meantime, you know, as a test bed. This is an old beat-up Kershaw Vapor. I think it's a Vapor 3, I'm not sure. I use it mainly as just like a utility knife at work, in the garage, around the house, whatever. So, I mean, this is a beat-up knife. But, however, it has, in my opinion anyway, a really nice C-Tech scale on it now. It's a frame lock, so I only did one side, obviously. We've got the blue C-Tech honeycomb with this toxic green liner. And then underneath, in between these layers, I made a little custom mix of aqua and bright green glow-in-the-dark powder. It's kind of like half Half-Life X and half the stuff that they sell at USA Knife Maker. I'm not sure. I think it's a powdered form of moon glow. But anyway, it's been really challenging to get the glow just right and even and get the right combination of colors and everything. So, number one, this is going to be added to the runner-up prizes after I get it all cleaned up, and it's all going to be cleaned up and look really, really nice when it's all done. But see the patterns, just something kind of simple, and you're going to recognize a little bit of this pattern in the Spyderco we're going to show shortly. But just real quick to show you how I've worked this out, I'm just going to flip to a clip real quick that I did the other night in a dark room. Here's just a little example of kind of how the glow-in-the-dark stuff looks. I just held the light up to it a little bit, and the thing's still a little bit dirty, but you can see the pattern. It glows right through, which is awesome. And then around the edges, where the glow-in-the-dark epoxy kind of holds the two pieces together, focus, you can sort of see it come through. I just need to clean up the edges and clean up the C-Tech a little bit, so it's just totally transparent, but it looks really cool. I mean, this is successful. Okay, so you can see, I mean, obviously, the knife still needs to be cleaned up a little bit. It's still got some dirty spots in there and polished up and blah, 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 blah. But this is I've got this down. So the Benchmades are just that much closer to finally being done. I've got to put pieces together and assemble them to get them usable. You have no idea how much G10 and C-Tech and carbon fiber and everything else I've wasted with combinations that just don't work. Because it really is, believe it or not, it's almost impossible to test it out without actually putting a scale together. You know, waiting the 5-6 hours to make sure it's really good and cured, and then go and cut the shape out and grind it and blah, 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 blah. So anyway, all right, guys, I'm going to show you these two knives now. So the first knife we're going to look at right now is a Kershaw 1-ton. Some of you guys might remember that a while back, right when I got back from a deployment, I had done a custom scale on a Kershaw 1-ton. It was sort of in the style of the Strider cracked ice finish. And it was my first work really with dyeing G10. So I did a giveaway on that one, and I gave it away to a pretty grateful subscriber who did an unboxing video. It was really cool. It was a really nice knife. So here's just a basic Kershaw 1-ton. I really like the 1-ton. Number one, I like frame locks. I'm liking them more and more and more. Kershaw knives, you know, pretty affordable, pretty good value for the price you're paying for these things. But it's just, you know, sort of following that style of the short, squat blade. It's a nice shaped blade, very good. You've got very good grip on it. This is a basic 1-ton. Obviously, there's been nothing special done to it, and this is mine. Just a plain old bead blasted finish and black G10, just like Kershaw does about 1 million knives with a black handle, whatever the material, and a bead blast finish. So a subscriber contacted me and asked if I would do a knife for him, and if I would kind of recreate the original Kershaw 1-ton I did for them. But through talking to them, they decided that they wanted something a little bit different, something a little bit more unique, and had some special sort of requests. And it took us a while to get it all worked out, figure out exactly what he wanted. But the knife is done, and I asked for his permission. He said it's cool to talk about it and show it. So DT Guitarist had this Kershaw done. Now, when they sent it to me, it looked just like this one, and this is what it looks like now. So I stonewashed the blade and frame and clip, and that came out really, really nicely. I made sure I took the thumb studs off and did them separately as well, too. I left all the other hardware, though, just bead blast finish. So this all came out really, really nice, and you can still see all the original markings on the blade even through the stone wash, so it looks cool. The 1 ton is a knife where the blade sort of blends gradually and gracefully into the hilt over there, so it lets the stone washing take really, really nicely instead of one of those just very hard right angles over there where you've got that small section that doesn't get stone washed. But the frame, being a stainless steel frame, it came out really, really nice. Especially compared to the blade. It's just, you can tell the contrast right there. It's just slightly darker, the steel they used on the frame versus the steel they used on the blade, so it's got a nice contrast. And again, there's the bead blasted back of the pivot, which looks good. The Kershaw comes out really nice, showing on the For the scale, what he wanted was the dyed G10. He wanted in the same blue color, but as we were talking about the finish, he decided that he wanted it sort of just an experiment for both of us, sort of a fade from the butt end of the knife towards the blade in a dark blue into the icy frosty blue. And so here's the finish we got on that, and I think it came really nice. What I really like is that in the darker blue section, you can see all the grain of the G10. It looks really cool, and it fades really nicely. Once again, on the little viewfinder in the camera, it's not really showing the colors that we saw in the pictures and looking at the knife outside, but it's really nice. You can see the finish there. You've got the dark dye job over here with sort of lighter upper areas. I really like the way the pattern came out. He really likes the way the pattern came out, and the dark just blends into that lighter icy blue with just sort of a little bit of darker around the edges. Ground some jimping into the frame lock here because the original, if you take a look, is just number one, the G10 scale comes down almost flush. There's so little area to get your thumb on that liner lock, and there's really no good grip on it. So what I did was I had ground the scale a little bit higher up and then cut that jimping in there with just a little diamond burr. So you really get some good traction with your thumb on there. And I had put this one together a little bit tight so that when it all breaks in again, it'll be just about perfect, but still it's nice and smooth, went together really nicely. The centering on this is pretty much perfect. Now, we found out through the course of this that the tip of his blade is bent a little bit, so please don't let that, prevent you from seeing the centering on the blade. The tip is off center because it's a little bit bent, but the blade itself, if you look at it, is just perfectly centered in that frame and that scale. And it's a really great knife. If you don't have a Kershawn 1 ton, I know some people might not be into this particular price range of knives. It's a relatively cheap knife, but you get so much value for your money with this knife. I just got to do a little bit more sharpening on that edge there to get it back to the really nice, actually better than the finish that it comes with out of the box. I want this thing perfectly razor sharp when it gets back to its owner. So I'm really, really happy with the way this one came out. And by the way, I apologize. I'm still sick, still trying to kick whatever stupid bug I've got here. So I know I don't sound 100%, and you're going to hear me sucking on some cough drops in the background. But anyway, so this next one was something that a friend asked me to do. And I mean, who doesn't know about the Spyderco Tenacious? Great knife, super EDC blade. You can use it sort of tactically and everything else. It's just a really good knife. Not as fancy as some of the more expensive Spydercos, but definitely, absolutely 100% worth the money you pay for it. So he didn't want his Tenacious looking like all the other Tenacious in the world, and he asked what we could do about that. And the first thing he wanted to do, he wanted a wave feature on there, like you would see on an Emerson. And Spyderco does make 2 production models of their knives with the wave feature, but that feature is available only, from what I've seen anyway, on the Endura and the Delica. I haven't seen anything else that they've done with the actual wave feature. So the first challenge was to find a way to put a wave in there. But, oh, by the way, he wanted to keep the spider hole there to open with his thumb if he didn't want to use the wave feature in a pocket. So I had to work on that. Second, he didn't like the G10 scales, and I don't blame him, because this G10, this is really generic G10. And this is better than just slick, but, not much. And it's kind of boring. So he asked me to give him something special, and with my stone washing that I'm doing on everything of my own, he asked for that too. He wanted it on the clip, and he wanted it on the blade. And then we came up with some colors he liked. So, as for the pattern that's on this thing, I showed him the Strider SMF with the cracked ice finish, and he really liked the way this looked. So he asked if I could sort of do something very similar to that. And I have in the past done something similar. I don't know if we'll ever recreate this pattern exactly, but he wanted something like this
on the Tenacious, with just a little bit more intensity to it, you know, a little bit more definition and grippiness. So, here's what we came up with. Start with a stonewash blade, and obviously it's stonewash blade. Stonewash clip came out very, very nice. I managed to cut the wave feature in there. I ground in a little bit. I still left the hole, just as he asked, right? But we got the wave feature in there. Took some forest green G10 and some blue G10 and put it together. And did the handle for him just the way he liked it. And I think it came out pretty nice. It's very similar to the Strider pattern, like he asked for. Not exactly. A little bit deeper, a little bit more jagged. You know, give him a little bit more grip on that knife, which is what he asked for. And, you know, this stuff, basically, I just did this decoration-wise, honestly. I thought it was going to look nice that way. But it's pretty good. It goes together great. The centering on there is perfect. It's very smooth. Nice and easy to do. In fact, you can flick it out pretty easy without even using the wave right there. It's just, you know, I think it came out pretty nice. Everything's sunk in really, really nicely. I can't remember if I think I did stonewash the pivot, actually, separately. I don't remember if I did or not, but it doesn't have the same look as the other screws, the other hardware on it. So I'm thinking I did. He also really liked kind of the orange peel finish that I do on the liner sometimes, so he asked for that, and I threw that on there, and he was really happy with the way it came out. And I think it looks really, really good. I have a Tenacious in OD green, which looks pretty good, but the forest green, you know, just the deeper green, really kind of suits this knife. If you look at it right next to the stock model Tenacious, you know, it's cool because it looks enough like a Tenacious that anybody can identify that shape, but at the same time, it's just different enough that in your mind, you're sort of looking at it and thinking about it and saying, that's different. So anyway, yeah, there's some speckliness on it right now because it's freshly oiled, so I probably just need to give it a good wipe down. But anyway, I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to put on a pair of pants so I can show you how effective the wave is, because this wave, the way I cut it, and at first I didn't sink it in there like that, it was just like straight across, it didn't work so well, but as soon as I gave just that little notch inside and down, it works great. So hang on one sec. So here she is, holds up nice and neat, right in the pocket, clip's still a little bit tight. I'm going to have to loosen that up. I put it on really, really tight, and I actually just shaved a slightest bit off the back of the clip because the handle's just a little bit thicker. But anyway, wave works great. Do that one more time. So, you know, all the effort in getting that shape just right, totally worth it. As always, when you stonewash the blade, you kill whatever kind of edge you have on there. So, you know, you got to take a lot of extra time to make sure you put that razor's edge back on there before you hand the knife over. So, this one, sharp and ready for its new owner. Well, that's pretty much it for this one. Just have those two custom jobs that I wanted to show everybody. So, I've got a lot of really cool things planned. A lot of interesting videos, I think interesting anyway, you know, either in production now that I'm working on or in my head. So you can expect to see them coming out real soon, sometime. Anyway, I hope you guys like these. I hope you think they're cool. Okay, so that's it, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching, as always, and I'll be back again real soon.